Hello, and welcome back to the Crime Reel. Today we've reached a new milestone on this channel. This is the 100th true crime video to be released. I thank you for your support. Anyway, let's move on. For this week's true crime narration, we shall be looking at the life of Jean Harris. Jean was born on 27th of April 1923. Her mother, Mildred, was a Christian Scientist, and her father, Albert, was a civil engineer. Together with her brothers and sisters, she had a privileged upbringing and was educated at one of Cleveland's leading private schools. She attended Smith College, where she majored in economics and graduated magna cum laude. Some people also know this as laude. Jean went on to obtain a master's degree in education from Wayne State University. Shortly after her graduation, she married a man by the name of James Harris. James was a Navy veteran who became a successful businessman. The couple settled in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, where Jean worked at a private school. They had 2 children, David, who was born in 1950, and 2 years later a second son, who they named James. By the time the boys were teenagers, Jean and James had separated. Jean filed for divorce on the basis of James's cruelty. He agreed to this, but retaliated that she was also guilty of cruelty within their marriage. They were divorced on the 23rd of February 1965. Jean retained custody of their 2 sons. Moving on with her life, Jean moved to a higher paying job as a director of the Springside School. This was a girls' academy in Philadelphia. In 1966, Jean's friend Marge Jacobson introduced her to a man by the name of Dr. Herman Tarnower. Herman was 13 years her senior and was a renowned cardiologist who had founded the Scarsdale Medical Center. He was known to be an ambitious, committed bachelor who held elaborate dinner parties for his wealthy friends and patients. Herman and Jean had many things in common, and after a whirlwind romance, and to the surprise of those who knew him, Herman proposed to Jean early in 1967. Jean, however, did not feel ready to commit to Herman, preferring to wait until her sons were older and had completed their education. Their relationship continued, and Jean assumed that they would marry at some point in the future. However, by the time Jean felt in a position to move on with their relationship, Herman had changed his mind. He told her that she should see other men, as he no longer felt that he was able to marry her. Despite this change of heart, the pair remained involved, but Herman was also dating other women. By 1977, Jean had become the headmistress of the prestigious Madeira Girls' School in Washington, D.C. The following year, in 1978, Herman's book, which was based around a diet which he recommended to his patients, became an international bestseller. The complete Scarsdale medical diet made Herman into somewhat of a celebrity and further added to his wealth. By this point, Herman was becoming increasingly close to one of the women he worked with, 37-year-old Lynne Tryforos. Having put up with his other women for years, Jean became particularly jealous of this younger, attractive woman. Jean and Lynne became increasingly competitive for Herman's attention. Jean started receiving nuisance calls. Her jewellery went missing from Herman's house, and she found her clothes had been smeared with excrement. Assuming that these were all acts by Lynne, Jean would retaliate and began constantly calling Lynne at night. The relationship between Jean and Herman became increasingly strained. This, together with the stress of her job, began to take its toll on Jean. She was depressed and struggling to cope with her life. Herman prescribed large doses of amphetamines to help with her increasingly frequent depressive periods. In early March 1980, 4 of the most outstanding students at the Madeira Girls' School were found to have been experimenting with drugs. Jean had no choice but to expel all of them, a decision which was disputed by the girl's parents and proved extremely unpopular amongst the other students. In Jean's fragile state, this conflict, together with the ever-deteriorating state of her relationship with Herman, became the final straw. Jean wrote a long and rambling letter to Herman. She was complaining about Lynne and detailing how badly he had treated her and begged him to change. She posted the letter, but then changed her mind and decided that she did not want Herman to read it. So on Monday, 10th of March 1980, Jean decided that she needed to speak to Herman in person. After leaving scattered notes around her house, stating that she had no intention of returning, she got into her blue 1973 Chrysler and started on the 5-hour journey to Herman's home. 56-year-old Jean had a plan. She had decided that she wanted to see Herman one last time and then would take her own life in one of her favourite places. This was near the pond in the garden at his sprawling estate in Purchase, New York. When she arrived at the house, Herman was reportedly distant and aloof. That evening, the police received a call from Herman's home. When they arrived, they found Herman dead in an upstairs bedroom with an extremely distraught Jean nearby. A detective on the scene reportedly stated that Jean told him, "I did it. I've been through so much hell with him. He slept with every woman he could." Jean was arrested that same day. Shortly afterwards, her brothers and sisters raised the $40,000 required for her to be released on bail. The story of the millionaire doctor and his headmistress lover became headline news, with many empathising with Jean as a woman scorned. Jean's trial began on the 21st of November 1980 at Westchester County Court in New York and lasted for over 3 months. She pleaded temporary insanity and claimed that Herman's death was accidental. She explained that she had driven to the house to see Herman one last time before taking her own life. Upon her arrival, Herman's distant nature, along with seeing Lynne's curlers, negligee and slippers, had caused her to become extremely angry. A fight between Herman and Jean followed, during which time Herman was shot multiple times. However, the prosecution countered that Jean had initially shot Herman as he slept and continued to do so as he attempted to defend himself. The main issue was whether Jean had intended to kill Herman that night. After the jury of 4 men and 8 women deliberated for 8 days, on the 20th of March 1981, they found Jean guilty of second-degree murder. Jean's defence team were heavily criticised for their work during the trial. Mental health professionals who had treated Jean were not called to testify, and the fact that Jean had run out of the mood-altering medicines that Herman had been prescribing her for years in the days before the murder was not mentioned at trial. Her defence team gambled on an all-or-nothing strategy which did not allow the jury to consider a lesser charge of manslaughter. Ultimately, it would seem that the most damning evidence came from Jean herself in the form of the letter which she had posted to Herman before visiting him on the 10th of March. Despite the defence claiming that jealousy was not a factor in Herman's death, the letter which she had written, which was over 10 pages long, showed both a lack of self-worth and an extreme hatred and jealousy towards Lynne. In April 1981, Jean was sentenced to 15 years to life and sent to the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. An unsuccessful appeal followed, after which Jean settled into making her prison life as productive as possible. She wrote her autobiography along with 2 other books. She organised the prison library, also tutored inmates for high school examinations, and helped to set up a centre where babies born to inmates could spend time with their mothers. During this time, she also suffered 2 heart attacks, and after undergoing bypass surgery in December 1992, she was granted clemency on the grounds of ill health by the then Governor Mario Cuomo. She was released from prison 3 weeks later at the age of 69. After her release, She was involved with setting up a foundation which raised millions of dollars for scholarships for children of women who were in prison in New York State. On the 23rd of December 2012, at the age of 89, Jean died in her sleep at an assisted living facility in New Haven, Connecticut. That concludes today's story on Jean Harris. I'd like to say thanks to Devin Johnson, who suggested me doing this story. Thank you, Devin. Please remember to leave any comments down below. I'll be interested in reading them as usual. Thanks very much for listening to The Crime Reel. Stay safe. Goodbye. Psst. If you're able to leave the words true crime in your comment today, that would be gratefully appreciated. Goodbye.